What's up guys, welcome back to the Piston Show. I'm Keshi Dylan and today I have here with me the new for 2025 Mitsubishi Triton. This is the athlete version and it is priced at 159,980 ringgit. Now when Mitsubishi Motors Malaysia first introduced the latest generation Triton back in 2024, it was priced at 165,980 ringgit. Now though, it is better spec'd and it's slightly cheaper, a full 6,000 ringgit cheaper. So what does it have to offer you? And how is it like on a day-to-day basis? I'm here at the Bay 13 Off-Road Ranch nearby Sepang International Circuit. I'm going to take it off-roading for a little bit and then talk to you about all of the features that it has and how it feels to drive on regular roads on a day-to-day basis. So stick around. Powering the new Triton is basically the same powertrain as before, a 2.4 litre 4N16 Mavic with a twin-stage turbo. Now, of course, Mitsubishi Malaysia is not going to update the powertrain in any way because this was just introduced last year. But as compared to the previous generation model, the 4N16 engine is a huge leap forward. It's still made of aluminium. In fact, the Mitsubishi Triton is the only pickup truck in its class to offer an aluminium engine. Now, some of the benefits of an aluminium engine include lighter weight. When the engine is lighter, that means the total overall mass is lighter, which means that the truck itself has a lower weight to carry, which means more fuel efficiency. Besides that, you also get better power. When it's lighter, that means the engine does not need to work as hard or it does not need to pull so much of weight, so it produces produces power more effortlessly. In that sense, I also got to say that the Triton, the way that it produces power because of its twin-stage turbo, it produces power more effortlessly. In fact, power is delivered just when you want it. I'm referencing this against the Ford Ranger Wildtrak. Now, the Ford Ranger Wildtrak is powered by a 2-litre bi-turbo engine. The bi-turbo engine is sweet and all. In fact, it produces more power than this. But one of the downsides of that is that there's always a moment of lag before it delivers its power. But not here with the Triton. When you put your foot down and power is delivered without any waiting period. So that's something that I like about the Triton. It's very smooth, and on top of that, it comes with a Super Select 2 4-wheel drive system. I'll explain more about the 4-wheel drive system later, but simply said that the Triton has the most driving modes in its class. It comes with 7 driving modes. The Toyota Hilux, for example, only comes with 2, perhaps 3. So that's the difference, the key difference between the Triton and all of its competitors. It has an aluminium engine, delivers power more effortlessly, fuel efficiency is really good, and it has a really, really capable 4-wheel drive system. Hey, you can't argue against 7 driving modes now, can you? The interior remains unchanged. Now, I got to say this though, that when Mitsubishi Malaysia first introduced the Triton last year, I attended the media drive and I remember driving the orange Triton. So when driving that car back then, I just didn't like that much orange. Orange isn't exactly my favorite color. So when the car was orange, which already, it's not something that I was approaching with an open heart, and when I stepped in and I saw orange seats, that was like, okay, this is just way too much orange. But now though, with this white exterior color and this orange interior, I just got to say that it doesn't look all that bad. Now it kind of looks good. So if you're going to select the orange Triton, sort of just take a step back and check out the exterior of the car in orange and then step in and check it out again, because for me, that was just too much orange. The leather, the seats were orange, the stitching was orange, everything was orange. Wow, no, it just didn't do it for me. But as I've said, now though, it's quite nice. And I just got to say that the seats of the Triton deserve a special mention because they really are super comfortable. This is something that you need to try out for yourself to experience. I gotta say that only the Isuzu D-Max X-Terrain has comparable seats when it comes to comfort. The X-Terrain has some really nice comfortable seats as well, and the Triton matches it in that way. In the center over here, you get suede, especially the suede quilting over here that's with orange stitching, looks really good. The sides though are wrapped in leatherette, so this is not full leather. Again, doesn't matter because this is ultimately a pickup truck. You want it to last really long, and that's what this leatherette is going to give you, durability. Now the overall interior though is still one of my favorites. I just liked how Mitsubishi designed this over a horizontal axis, and it makes it seem a very wide and very tough at the same time. And I've been spending a couple of days with the Triton, and I find it very easy to live with. It's one of the nicer trucks out there, especially in terms of build quality. You can be doing about 130, 140, not like you should, but 130, 140 on the highway, and nothing really rattles out of place. And that, on top of that, you get a bunch of storage space over here. So this is nice. You also get a digital video recorder over here, and an infotainment screen, touchscreen infotainment screen. It's not one of those super large infotainment screens like what you get on the Ranger Wildtrak. Of course, that will appeal to the younger generation, you know, those that have spent a lot of time with their phones and such. So all these kind of digital screens will appeal to them. But this is functional because you get Apple CarPlay, Android Auto. They're wired, of course. So not wireless, which is something that I think Mitsubishi Malaysia can work on, perhaps later with the updated Triton coming perhaps a couple of years down the road now. But when they update this, so you can perhaps expect wireless Apple CarPlay. But having it wired is good enough already because you can charge your phone and access Apple CarPlay at the same time. But on top of that, you also get a wireless charge pad over here in case you don't want to be plugging in your phone all the time. So you get a wireless charge pad over here, switches for your air conditioning, which I'm a big fan of hard buttons for all of the key controls, and this look and feel like they will last quite some time. On top of that, this is what I was talking about earlier. This gives you access to hill descent control. This lets you control the 7 drive modes, and this is how you select one of the Super Select 2 4-wheel drive systems. Now what makes this unique is the 4-high system. Now this 4-high system is quite unique to the Triton because the Triton is the only one that allows you to drive at higher speeds, let's say like highway speeds in 4-high mode. Now the Hilux, for example, will also let you drive in 4-high mode on the road, but only up to 50 kilometers per hour. With the Triton though, this is basically a safety feature that you can activate in case things get slippery, heavy rain and such. I know there are some people that say this should only be left to countries where you get snow, ice and such. But I believe that you use these systems whenever it becomes unsafe. And the thing about Malaysian highways is you get puddles of water all around. So if you activate this when it's raining really heavily, I believe it just adds a layer of safety. So that is something that I truly appreciate. Now in terms of the 7 driving modes though, if you look over here, so in 2-high mode, you just get access to eco and normal. But when you swap it to 4-high, you get normal, gravel, snow, and on top of that, you also get mud and rock as well. So that gives you a total of 7 different driving modes. But you can only access the 7 depending on which mode you selected on the Super Select 2 4-wheel drive system. So in that, I'll put this to the test later. I'll show you how it works like. And just for me, it just makes the Triton adapted to almost any type of situation that you can come across. So in terms of livability, it's definitely nice, and I like the fact that it's comfortable, it's spacious. It also comes with all of the tech that you need. particularly entertainment. You really can't argue against having Apple CarPlay in a pickup truck these days. And if you're thinking, why am I talking about Apple CarPlay? Don't all trucks have Apple CarPlay these days? Well, you will be right. It's just something that I'm particularly fond of. But the one thing that the Triton has, which no other truck has in this market, is roof-mounted air conditioning vents. Guys, say what you want, but roof-mounted air conditioning vents is one of the most underrated features in a pickup truck or in a car. You can either have it on your B-pillar over here, or you can have it up on the roof. It makes a world of difference, and it's much better than having it down here. This just cools your knee, and it really doesn't work very well, but this up here is just fantastic. And you can even adjust the blower setting, or if you're feeling cold, you can just turn it off altogether. So in that sense, I think the roof-mounted air conditioning vents is brilliant. You can have your kid at the back over here, and if they're feeling warm, you can just have cool air blowing to them. And if they're feeling cold, just turn it off. That is the level of adaptability that the Triton has, which no other pickup truck in the market has. Besides that, spaciousness is decent. If you're a bit on the taller side, you might need a little bit more legroom, but head space is definitely good. And you get, cup holders as well. Brilliant for long distance drive. One more thing that I really like are these pockets over here. This just lets you keep all your stuff, like your phones and all, because in case you don't want to be browsing for too long, that's a brilliant place to keep your phone. As for the back, well, it remains unchanged, except for the fact that it now comes with an easy lift system. I'm not sure why it didn't come with it before, but the most important thing is it comes with it now, and it's more affordable as compared to before. You also get this sports bar at the top over here. You get these fancy decals that run across until the passenger door, and at the front over here you get a new bumper, so to give it a more aggressive design. Now we take it for a drive. On the move, the Triton feels really nice. I think Mitsubishi has brought the Triton a long way from the utilitarian model that it used to be. Now though, pickup trucks have a lot of work to do, because they need to appeal to a crowd that want to look tough, yet may only occasionally use the flatbed at the back, and then at the same time they also need to appeal to those that want to use the flatbed all the time, and yet want a truck that looks great, has a comfortable interior and such. So I think pickup truck makers these days have it rough. I think they have a very wide demographic to appeal to. But then again, a couple of months ago, the Malaysian government just completely devastated the pickup truck segment in Malaysia by removing the subsidies for diesel. I mean, I've spoken about that extensively, and we've come a couple of months after, not even a year later, and typically Malaysians are quick to forget. But however, the effect from that decision is still being felt today. Pickup truck makers are not having it good. Sales are down. That means service centers do not have as many pickup trucks to service as before. That also means mechanics that used to specialize in diesel trucks, like the Mitsubishi Triton, may not have as many jobs later. So the ripple effect from just such a simple decision is vast. But I'm not here to talk about that. I'm here to talk about the Triton, particularly the Triton Athlete. So how does it feel like on the road? I can say that it feels very premium, no doubt. I've spoken already about the interior, which feels great. And I also said that I really like the infotainment system. Apple CarPlay is a wonderful thing. The sound system is brilliant. Yet at the same time, the suspension on the Triton Athlete, well, picks up on all the dips and ruts. It's a leather frame chassis. You feel this. This is a typical character of a pickup truck. But having said that, it's not as tough and rough and rigid as the suspension on the, for example, the Toyota Hilux Rogue or the Isuzu D-Max X-Terrain. Those are stiffer than the ones that I purposely jumped over the bump over there, and immediately it settled down. With the ones on the Isuzu D-Max as well as the Toyota Hilux, you'll get thrown around. But this means that the Hilux is more utilitarian. I mean, when it comes to construction sites, when it comes to building, construction taukes and such, you always see them with the Toyota Hilux, right? And sometimes you see these trailers that are broken down by the side of the road, and then there's always this Toyota Hilux with a compressor at the back with multiple truck tires at the back. More often than not, it's a Hilux. Of course, I've seen Tritons as well. I've seen Isuzus as well. But you get my point. I came back from Borneo Safari. Last year, I attended Borneo Safari. I was in the jungle with Isuzu Malaysia for about 10 days. And I can say I saw a lot of Isuzus, of course. They're the major sponsors. I saw a lot of Mitsubishis, of course. I saw a lot of Toyotas for sure. What I didn't see are Ford Rangers. I saw the previous generation models, definitely not the newer ones. You want a testament to how reliable and hardcore a pickup truck really is, you go to Sabah and Sarawak, and that's where you really see which ones are particularly good at what they do. And I can almost bet that you'll see a lot of Mitsubishis, you'll see a lot of Isuzus, Toyotas for sure, but Ford Ranger, not much. Anyway, back to the suspension of the Triton. It's softer, it's more comfortable than the ones on the Toyota Hilux as well as the Isuzu D-Max, but not as soft as the ones on the Ford Ranger. The Ford Ranger is more road biased. It's very soft, it absorbs everything and such, and it also has a slightly quieter interior. But the Triton, I think, is the ideal balance for those that want the ruggedness, the utilitarian purpose, yet want the comfort of a Ranger. I think the Triton, is a fine balance of that. And now though, the Triton has simply been perfected. You know why? It's a system that not many talk about. And it's a system that really makes the Triton really nice to drive. And it's a system that has been derived from the legendary Mitsubishi Evo. And that is called the active yaw control. And that just makes the Triton feel alive in your hands. It feels so obliging. It'll do anything that you want to do. The electronic power steering, for example, feels very light. If you get into the Hilux or even the Isuzu D-Max, those have hydraulic regular power steerings, so they feel very heavy. So when you want to park the car and such, you really have to deal with a heavy power steering. Of course, not as heavy as the old school cars without power steering, but I know a lot of you have probably never felt that kind of a steering wheel before, so no point going there. Anyway, I think that the Triton, with its electronic power steering, is a very nice balance. With the active yaw control, you really feel in control of the car. And right now, I'm doing about 100 kilometers per hour. And for example, if it starts to rain really heavily, if I start seeing puddles of water everywhere, and if I need to really, if I have my family in the car, and I need to feel like I just need that extra layer of security. I want my car to really, grip the road. All I got to do is turn this dial to 4H and I'm done. The car is now an all-wheel drive machine. And the Triton is the only model with its Super Select 2 all-wheel drive system. it's the only model that is able to do this. If I'm not mistaken, I was told this. And I think the Hilux can do it as well, but only until 50 kilometers per hour. But this can take you up to some 115 kilometers per hour right now, and I'm still in all-wheel drive mode. So this just gives me that extra layer of security and safety that I need, particularly when things start to go a little south. And with the active yaw control, I just feel a lot more connected to the car. So I'm going to turn this off now. And that's what I like about the Triton. I just like the fact that it has all the bases covered. But having said that, I also think that having an auto hold function, perhaps with a button located somewhere here as they usually are, will make the Triton a lot more friendlier to manage in traffic. Right now, you just have to sort of keep your foot on the brake every time you're stuck in traffic. And also, this center headrest is really annoying because it hinders your rear view. I mean, take a look. You really take a look at how it's just protruding out there, and it's just obstructing my view right over there. And this is actually not so bad, but sometimes with the motorcycles and all, because motorcycles are actually thinner, so you actually can't see them. So the way to live with this is to remove that center headrest. And if I'm feeling a bit tired, I press this button on the right of the steering wheel and I push this knob down to set. And right now I have set the adaptive cruise control to 98 kilometers per hour. And it's just so nice. It also has lane keep assist, a system that I find annoying, particularly around town and such. But right now, I'm adjusted to 105 kilometers per hour. I want to keep up with traffic. If the car in front is slowing down, the Triton will slow down by itself. This is stuff that makes the Triton a very livable pickup truck. I mean, of course, there are a lot of pickup trucks that are able to do this. But at 159,980 ringgit, right now, if you compare to the Toyota Hilux Rogue, the Ford Ranger Wildtrak, as well as the Isuzu D-Max X-Terrain, this is the most affordable one. So I think Mitsubishi has just nailed it, has just completely nailed it with the Triton. I've got so many nice things to say, and yet I think what people will pick on the most with the Triton is the fact that it still does not have 360-degree camera. Why the hell do you need 360-degree cameras? You do not need 360-degree camera. All you need is a parking sensor, is a proximity sensor. That is all you need, my friends, so that you know how close you're going to the front car or to the wall in front when you're parking or when you're reversing. All you need is parking sensors. You do not need 360-degree cameras. I do not know how old you are as a viewer viewing this video, my video, but if you are born in the 80s or the 70s or even the early 90s, you probably would have driven a car without 360-degree cameras. I grew up driving a car without proximity sensors. I had to do this when reversing a car. I remember having to do that when I was learning how to drive. So I can totally live without 360-degree camera. And I think that's a skill that everybody should have. Why do you want to be a slave to a camera, man? What if it breaks down? Are you going to forget how to drive? So the fact that it does not have it should not be a deal breaker. I think judge a pickup truck by its comfort, by its safety features. By the way, level 2 ADAS, level 2.5, I think, all the safety systems that you need. You should also judge a car by how nice it is to drive. If the steering wheel particularly is too heavy, it just becomes tiring to drive, particularly over long distances. Now, one feature that has made my life a lot easier behind the wheel, particularly here in Malaysia, is the blind spot monitoring system. Blind spot monitoring is an absolute must-have. especially when it's raining, cats and dogs, and you can hardly see anything. And every once in a while, one guy on a kapchai will be just out of your blind spot, and you can't see him. But if you're just merging onto the road or off the road, and suddenly you hear a beeping noise, and only then you'll see this guy, you know. And so blind spot monitoring, the Triton comes with it. Automatic headlamps, automatic wipers, the works, guys. You hear that? That's the blind spot monitoring. So it checks all the boxes. If you're gonna nitpick, then don't nitpick on stuff that you can live without. Now though, today's review is a little bit special because I am going to sort of, indulge in the active yaw control of the Mitsubishi Triton. I have access to a very special track which a friend of mine has built, and I'm going to go throw this car around. Let's go. Alright guys, we've established that the Triton is really impressive on the road. There's no doubt about it because the refinement is brilliant and such. But to truly demonstrate the active yaw control and how much fun it is, and how active yaw control actually gives you confidence, there's no better way than to take this car on slight off-road course, such as the one that I'm on right now, and just have a little bit of fun. So I've changed the driving mode to 4H. I'm in travel mode, and it's just dancing in my hands. It's just obliging, and the thing is, it feels so light. It feels like it can really take a lot. And that's the thing about active yaw control. It gives you confidence. It makes the car feel more agile, and even though it derived from a performance car, the Mitsubishi Evo, but in here, in the Triton, it's more of a safety feature. It gives you handling, and in certain situations, such as in heavy rain and such, all of this makes a difference. And wow, it just makes the Triton feel really agile. I mean, a pickup truck is not supposed to be able to do stuff like this, but the Triton truly can. I mean, if you hear about performance pickup trucks, you think about the Raptor, but not the Triton, guys. But the thing is, the active yaw control gives this a level of performance that we don't usually associate with the Triton. So that's it then, guys. My final conclusion about the new Mitsubishi Triton. In my opinion, it is better now with all of the features such as the tailgate assist, the easy lift function and such. The sports bar makes it, as the name suggests, even sportier. I think it looks better. I like this combination of white and the orange interior, as I said during the opening of this video. Even black on orange would look good as well. Orange on orange is just too much orange for me. Anyway, I also like the fact that it's such a nice car to drive because you feel so connected to it. The active yaw control of the Triton reminds me a little bit of Mazda's GVC system. The GVC system makes you feel totally in control of your car, and so does this active yaw control. And I like the fact that this active yaw control is derived from a performance car. You really feel it, especially at higher speeds. The car just obliges your every input. And as far as comfort is concerned, the Triton delivers as well. It is the only pickup truck that comes with roof-mounted air conditioning vents, which to me makes a world of difference. As far as entertainment goes, as I said earlier, it comes with Apple CarPlay, Android Auto, the works. Even the sound system is pretty decent as well. Besides all of that, I think when it comes to being tough and using this as a workhorse, the Mitsubishi Triton is tested and proven and found to be really capable. I think the Triton does not need any proving when it comes to being tough and reliable as well. I think all in all, looks are always subjective, and I know the Triton has been criticized for not having features such as 360 camera. But guys, do you really need a 360-degree camera? I mean, for my generation, we learned to drive cars without sensors. So as far as I'm concerned, I can live without the 360-degree camera. I don't understand the infatuation with 360 cameras. So for me, as long as the car has proximity sensors, which makes living with it a lot easier, particularly here in Malaysia, where we have a lot of underground basement parkings in shopping malls and such. I think the proximity sensors, the parking sensors, makes living with it a lot easier. So all in all, in my books, at 159,980 ringgit, the Mitsubishi Triton Athlete variant has been perfected. I do want to get my hands on the Mitsubishi Triton Premium variant though, because I hear that's actually quite good as well. It loses a little bit of the sportiness in favor of something more premium. I'm not sure when I'll do that, but for now though, the Mitsubishi Triton Athlete is definitely worth a look. Thank you for watching guys. As usual, do consider subscribing.